Hi Z, guys here. Wait, that's the wrong intro. We just had a Fate channel and it sure was a Fate channel. However, you might notice something different about it this time around. Or maybe not, because I haven't really specified anything yet. This was genuinely a very not bad Fate channel, and sure, that bar may be really low, but I mean it. I think you guys know me well enough that I don't usually complain about stuff in this game. But genuinely, there's nothing bad I could say about this Fate channel, and not just that, it's all really good stuff. Foremost and first, the return of the tea theme that I have been begging for again because it was such a good theme that got canned way too early. I'm not sure why they got rid of it in the first place, but I'm assuming the demand was large enough to bring it back, or the return of the Hoshido Festival was much worse than the original tea banner, but we got it back anyway, and that's all that matters. It's also right before Choose Your Legends 9, so I will not be polling on it. As for what's on the T banner, it has pretty much everything from the series that people know and love. And yeah, Engage is here too. Starting us off, we have T Veronica, and I think they did this specifically since she's getting a remix next month, so sure, why not release a new version? We don't really know what she does outside of having a 5 cooldown special, which is kind of funny, I guess, and some decent fodder with Sly Sparrow, a new detect, and some third thing I did not write down in my notes, so I will never know. But we do know what the next unit does. Kinda, sorta, mostly, it's Felix. You know what he's gonna do. We got T Felix, and he's Brave Felix, but new. And he'll probably still be ew. I guess it depends on how much they upgrade him from his original, but the worst case is that he's a new auto battle unit, which is a-okay. You can tell it's new because they changed the color of Lone Wolf. Also, he has double slang again because of course he does. There's also Saline, and guys, I don't know if you knew this already, but she likes tea.
Tea time! Tea!
She's the demote on the banner, so most likely automatically bad, but she has attack speed mastery as a demote skill, which is genuinely amazing. We only ever saw it on Nephany last year, and it's such a nice ace slot for ranged flyers, so nice job, IS. I really like this. It's a really good choice. Also, Finalt in 2025, I have prayed for times like these. I am surprised it took this long, but I will take anything I could get. Finn is so awesome. He's the Tempest Trial unit that has an assist Gale Force inheritable sword that grants breath and insight to himself and allies, and I'm assuming Saline's Tome does the exact same thing, maybe a different bonus or two, I don't really know. Either way, those inheritables are just obscenely strong, and I'm surprised they were even willing to drop this as an inheritable. That said, swords have been starving for almost 2 years, so I think this is justified. And then the Harmonic that consists of Ingrid and Nana, and I don't know what the correlation is. You'll have to let me know what it is, or if it's just another pairing that they did for the sake of it. I don't know. I don't really care. The most important thing to me is that they brought back the tea theme, and that's all that matters. I've missed it so much. And besides the banner that nobody is going to summon on, there's a bunch of the standard half anniversary rewards we usually get. And let me tell you, they really didn't hold back here. Instead of the usual 3 orbs we got, get this, 2 orbs this time. Plus another 10 from the reward maps, but it's not as funny if I tell you that. The maps also give tickets for the seasonal ticket thing, you know, the one that guarantees 4-star specials, and I will always have a soft spot for these. Orbs are always going to be the better reward because you could just save those, and I don't think you're going to find anybody that argues otherwise. I really hope you don't find anybody that argues otherwise. However, I'm going to play devil's advocate here. I really like the tickets, and you know, again, I would also prefer orbs, but I do think it's really funny to get a bunch of random seasonals with stupid inheritables like Giant Spoon and Lilith Floaty and whatever else they have. They're fun, especially the really old ones. I think they are fun to have, even if they're not good and they're pretty much just an aesthetic piece. I think it's a bit more enjoyable than maybe just getting 15 extra orbs, even though that would just be objectively better. It's fun. I think it is really fun, so I can't complain personally. I think you could otherwise. I get it. Otherwise, there's some codes, flowers, and some coins and whatever else, and a Formasol with a couple other things shoved in there that I don't really care about. about, so I'm not going to list it. It's pretty good overall. I can't really complain. A Form of Soul is also really appreciated, especially since they've been ramping up the quality of holoforms. I'll take any that I could get for free. We also got some Grand Hero battle revivals, and they sure are some Grand Hero battles. Vida, Chulane, Gris, Zane, Fafnir, etc, etc. It's more free copies of 5 stars you don't really have to promote, and since they are limited, it's kind of nice to just have them. Some of them also have pretty decent inheritables, like Jetta and Exilus have pretty good red tomes that you don't really have to waste grails or feathers on. I think that's nice at least. And speaking of free copies of 5 stars, maybe, probably not, don't get your hopes up, you have a bunch of revival banners, aka a bunch of free summons on outdated banners. Going through the list, you have Trash, Trash 2, Trash 3, you know, actually Hardy Fighter is pretty good pre-fodder. I can't really complain about that, even if the rest of the banner's not that amazing. Veil and Ganglot are nice. Veil has tempo and Ganglot's a rearmed. I could always appreciate that. Felia is also another rearmed. That's pretty good. Plumeria and Sonia are pretty great. They have more modern stuff, although I would assume most of their stuff is still outdated anyway. Still, rearms, they could duplicate stuff. I like it. Crom and Lucina are also in the same boat, but I would imagine a lot more people have copies of them. I think these are fantastic, and now these banners are starting to pick up. Trash 4. Atun Makaya and Azura sharing is actually really phenomenal. Both of them are good duplicators and they're color sharing, so the value is pretty great there. Veil again with Atun Nino is still pretty nice. It's basically the Ganglot thing except Nino instead. And the Distant Counter banner with 2 attuned units, and that's pretty great too. Overall, not a bad lineup of stuff, but you probably won't be spending orbs on it because there's a
Celebratory Hero Fest.
Whoa!
A young Camilla
Ah!
in the green
I hate her.
category.
I hate her. Oh my god. Why?
Duo hero Ray.
Why? Why?
No, man.
This banner is really, really good. Honestly, it might even end up being better than the T banner, which would be really funny and also kind of sad. Baby Camilla, I don't have to tell you how good she is. She's still reigning as the best nuke in the game, but if you have her, then, you know, Trample is still pretty decent fodder. You can pass around to a bunch of people that could use it. Crestfelger, I think, is kind of underrated as a unit. She can still hit extremely hard, and she is an offense mythic, which has a really good amount of value for scoring in Aether raids. Valentine's Rhea is still arguably the best armor in the entire game. Her miracle support is stupid. She lives way too many things, and the fodder is not that good, but it's not that unusable either. Lower ground is still decent for any dragon and beast armor if you want to throw that around. And Duo Marth is arguably among the best units in the entire game currently. He literally does everything and he's good at basically everything. He has amazing supports, he has great combat, he has a dance dual button and so on. He's not the instant end turn wind unit since a lot of people run Hardy Bearing to check him, and he does lack true damage at times which can hurt him when he vantages, but I would still say he's a must grab if you don't own him. In worst case scenario, his fodder is pretty nice for a lot of melee flyers. You really can't go wrong with Blue Skies and Hold Guide, and overall the banner is just stacked. This is a really, really stacked Hero Fest. And again, the only problem, and this is also similar to that of the T banner, is that this is also right before Choose Your Legend, so if you do want to spend on it, I would heavily advise just waiting to see just in case. And besides that, there's the lightning round of changes they usually do around this time that I don't think a lot of people tend to remember or talk about because it's at the end of the thing. But we're going to start with less bad pity breakers. That's always good, right? Remember when Lucia was good? Do you feel old yet? It's just more cleanup, except they kept Cyrene in the pool, who was still arguably the worst pity breaker in the game, and I will not be changing my mind on this. I don't care what anybody else says. Speedres Catch and Pegasus Flight 4, not Rift, is so bad. They also threw in some rearms, but it's worth noting that they can't randomly show up as 4-star specials like the other ones, as if you were ever going to get one anyway. The odds are so bad either way that it probably doesn't matter, but 3 of them will be on a banner together next week, which is really fantastic for building up fodder factories in general. There's also some Aether Raids update that I really do not care about, and I would imagine none of you do too, so I better not get a comment from the largest Aether Resort fan in the world saying that I should not have skipped it because it's their favorite mode ever. They also updated Binding Worlds, and it's an update that I really did not think they would ever actually do. Not only did they increase the amount of units you could roll to 5 instead of 3, but they also mentioned it would be a lot easier to roll friend units, which is a genuinely shocking change. I figured the reason they didn't do that for so long is because they didn't want it to be too easy. for whatever stupid reason they can conjure up. It's such a nice change because there's been so many times where I've been wanting to roll a friend unit and I can never get them because I'm either getting units that don't qualify for Binding Worlds redemptions, or, you know who you are when I'm about to say this, you put up a Brave Edelgard or a Brave Dimitri from the Hall of Forms. I'm sorry, nobody wants them. I don't care. I know I'm being mean, but still. And last, there's the Hall of Forms update, and instead of not addressing any issues with the mode, they addressed issues with the mode. Starting on the next Hall of Forms, Chambers 21 through 24 will give guaranteed 300 SP skills or higher, and in Chamber 25, where that's where it used to be, you can now only roll skills from version 8 or later. This is genuinely my favorite update here, and it's something I've been begging them to do for literal years. It is so frustrating not being able to get a specific skill because the game said you need 3 menace skills instead of anything useful. And I feel like they could have put this out before the Thor and Ymir one, but I would imagine why they didn't. Still, I thought they were just going to upgrade it to 4 slots, which would not have helped in the slightest, but they actually addressed it, and I'm very, very, very happy they're actually listening to feedback. I'm not sure why they started listening to all these complaints now, but I'm just glad they're finally making these changes. I 100% expect them to do something to piss off everybody really, really soon. Also, they made less money this month, so maybe making less revenue lit a fire under them. A fire emblem. And yeah, that's the Fate channel, I guess. I went in with the expectation that I should have no expectations, but those non-existent expectations were beyond met. I think at most they really could have changed up the lineup on the T banner since Felix and Saline had alts not that long ago, and I know Brave Felix was voted in, but this is just Brave Felix again. I don't care, they could have waited a bit more. But otherwise, I don't really have anything to complain about here. It was just a really, really good Fate channel. And since I have nothing to complain about, that means I've ran out of material for this video. Ivy Lost Choose Your Legends.
Leave my sight!